Footballer Nation, welcome back to another episode of the greatest rising podcast in football. I am not your host. I am Alex, the Billsaholic, coming at you with another crazy week. However, the reason I'm starting the episode is because we're missing a member. Although I don't know why I'm starting the episode, because we have our host here with me today. So I'm confused.
Hey everyone, I'm your host, Carson, the Cardsaholic. I don't know what we're doing here. There's only two of us for the first time. We are unfortunately missing our friend Ian, the Bearsaholic, today. So if you want to know more football, dude, I don't know how this works with two people.
It's very confusing. It feels like Peter Prisco is hosting right now. And it's a big problem. However, if you want to know what happened to Ian at the very least, we could tell you all about that right after our intro. Let's roll that right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Footballers Anonymous. We only got two people today, as we said before, but we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown of the past couple weeks in the NFL, the UFL, and as well as Footballers Anonymous news itself and some college knowledge, which we'll get to all of that and more. But first, we'll talk about Ian. Carson, you want to take it away?
I would love to. Thank you, Alex. So we here at Footballers Anonymous have had a very busy and complicated summer. It has affected a lot of our publishing dates and when things were supposed to come out. Thankfully, there isn't too much pressure on that during the off season. So we were able to be a little bit more flexible, and we appreciate you guys for being flexible with us because the off season just has not gone the way we thought it would. Unfortunately, it's Thursday night, or actually it's Friday at like 2 a.m. as of recording this, and preseason games have started. And a whole lot of stuff has happened that we need to tell you guys. I am leaving the country in like 12 hours, and we've been trying to record the podcast for a few days, but things just haven't been working out. So our friend and fellow host Ian, your Bearsaholic, who is not here because of some personal reasons, told us that we should go ahead and record for you guys. So pretty much what we're gonna do is we're not gonna be having all of our segments during this episode, especially since most of our segments only really work with all three of us present. But that's okay because we have so many things to talk about because we've been gone for a little bit and a whole lot of stuff has happened. So we're very excited to get into that with all of you guys today and hopefully have some good discussions. But before we get into football, Alex, you wanna reveal our pretty big news for this season?
I would like to, Carson. We talked about last season that we were gonna think about starting up a Pick'ems league. That did not work last season because we started our podcast in week 2 last year, and you can't really start a Pick'ems league unless it's before the season starts, or else it doesn't really work. But we did it this time. We got a Pick'ems league set up, and we want you guys to enter and see if you guys can do better than Footballers Anonymous and each of their members. So we will have a collective pick'ems in there as well as each of our individual picks, and we want to see if the community can do better than Footballers Anonymous.
That's right. This is your guys' chance to prove that you have more ball knowledge than Footballers Anonymous. You will be able to compete against both us individually and our collective voted predictions every week. So essentially 4 different accounts, a Cardsaholic, a Bearsaholic, a Billsaholic account, and an FBA account that you will be able to compete for. It is super easy. It's going to be through the ESPN app. You can search for it there. You can search for Footballers Anonymous Pick'ems. There is another one just called Footballers Anonymous. That is not it. I think that's the one we tried to create last season, and
Yeah,
it
that's the
didn't
one I
work.
made.
So if it has no one in it, that's the wrong one. It's called Footballers Anonymous Pick'ems. You can find it both on the app by searching for it. You can also find the links all over our socials. We will be posting them non-stop before the season starts, and in the descriptions of all of our videos starting now. So, it's not like a super complicated fantasy league that you have to manage. You pretty much just, pick who you think is going to win each game each week. It takes like 5 seconds. We'll be predicting the games of the week as a collective on the pod, and then predicting the rest of them together and separately. And, whoever's on top of the fantasy league, we'll try to give you guys some shout outs. So if you think you can beat Footballers Anonymous, pull up to the fantasy league and prove it.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, though, it's not going to be easy. We got some ball knowledge. As y'all know, we're the greatest rising podcast in football.
It's true. We have some insanely elite ball knowledge. I mean, you have to keep in mind the fact that we are the sole people who have brought the knowledge to the public of the GOAT, Mitchell David Trubisky, because no one seemed to know that for some reason. So we've had to do that. We've had to expose single-handedly multiple people, including Kyle Pitts and Pete Prisco, because they think they can just get away with everything, which is ridiculous. I mean, what are we talking about?
Right, yeah. And that, speaking of that stuff, I know we're jumping a little ahead, but the trade rumors of Kyle Pitts and second-round picks from Micah Parsons, who would be stupid enough to do that?
Listen, if you listen to Footballers Anonymous, Jerry Jones, which of course you do, but you probably don't follow a lot of our advice. But I'm telling you, do not trade Micah for Kyle Pitts. I know you like handshakes, apparently, but frankly, I don't think Kyle Pitts can use his hands well enough to even give you one.
This is a peak moment in Footballers Anonymous history.
If you think you can beat Footballers Anonymous in our elite ball knowledge, make sure to join our fantasy league on the ESPN app or using the link on our socials and in our descriptions.
And remember, if the Cowboys trade for Kyle Pitts, go against them every single game. They're going 0-17.
Honestly, you might want to do that anyways. I mean, you might. I don't know. Stay tuned for our Footballers Anonymous full season predictions video coming out later this month.
Now, speaking of people that can give a good handshake and don't go 0-17, the person in our comment of the week this week is an absolute GOAT on the TikTok community and an absolute GOAT for our Fanta videos. Carson posted a Fanta video for the Hall of Fame game because it was a Thursday night game. That's what happens every Thursday night game. And
Except
he tagged
tonight. I forgot tonight. There were Thursday night games tonight, and I didn't do it. Sorry, guys. My fault.
Oops. It's okay. He tagged Kevin in the video, which is like the original Fanta guy. He said he was an inspiration, and Kevin, multi-time commenter on Footballers Anonymous, commented back. He said, "Let's go!" That's our comment of the week. I mean, how could we not?
Kevin might be our biggest,
He might be.
Our biggest.
I never actually show the comments for comment of the week, but
he's big enough that it's worth showing.
Oh yeah.
How many followers does he have on TikTok?
370,000.
Pretty good. All because of that Fanta in his system. He is the creator of Fanta in the system.
However, we want to get up to that point someday. So make sure you follow us on all our socials. We got Instagram. We got TikTok. We got Facebook, where we only post Minion memes. Don't try to follow that one, though. It's still kind of broken, and I kind of haven't bothered fixing it yet. We'll get there someday. We also have YouTube. YouTube. I guess that counts, too. And, you can just stay tuned listening to all our podcast episodes.
This is true. We are still at 149 subscribers on YouTube.
Of course.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our climb to 150 has halted for a very long time at 149. We are so close to hitting 150 before the season starts. We need just one of you to subscribe to our YouTube, but really, we need all of you and all of your friends and all of your family and all of your enemies. and everyone, because everyone deserves this show.
Exactly. How else would they get their UFL coverage and their fan-voted segment of the year, Carson's College Knowledge?
Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually giving you a couple segments today. We just heard the amazing comment of the week from Alex, and now we're going to get into just a little bit of Carson's College Knowledge. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the college community right now. I'm not going to get into too much of it at the moment, but there is a pretty big announcement coming at the end of Carson's College Knowledge. But jumping into just a couple very important things, ESPN has collaborated with Machine Gun Kelly for the new college football anthem, and it's fire. You should listen to it. Like, it is straight fire. I believe in our last video I mentioned the fact that USC's hype video for the 2024 season was nominated for an Emmy. They won. So USC won an Emmy for their football hype video, which was awesome. Like, it was so good. As the videographer myself, I was very impressed with it. But wow, they won an Emmy. Like, okay, good for them. Like, honestly. Very big news. President Trump has signed a college sports executive order that bans third-party pay-for-play payments to college athletes for some reason.
Interesting.
I'm not going to get into politics here, but as far as the industry is concerned, this is really just like going to complicate the whole NIL thing that we thought was kind of resolved. So it'll be interesting to see how Congress treats this. And how, the NCAA kind of implements it or doesn't implement it as well. And our last piece of news, we got to talk always about expansion here in college football. North Carolina is reportedly being considered as a possible expansion team for the SEC, which is very interesting, currently under Coach Bill Belichick in the ACC, probably the worst of the Power 4 conferences right now. I think this season with Bill Belichick will be a very big determining factor on whether they are worthy of the SEC. I mean, personally, I think the SEC is kind of overrated right now, but, they still are like the college football conference. So this will be a very big season for them, which is going to make it even more exciting since no one knows what's going on with Bill Belichick. No one does. But that'll be very, very interesting to watch. And the last piece of news, it's not really big news, but I'm obviously not talking too much about my opinions on certain teams here, because as you know, throughout the season last season, I was posting some of my college football takes on our socials in short form content, and I'm happy to announce that before kickoff at the end of August, that will continue, as you guys will get my full top 25 college football teams through Reels, and you will get my full Division I college football power rankings. You need to understand how many schools. It's a lot of schools, right? This is hard stuff. I'm going through lots of research, lots of depth charts, lots of stats. I'm going to be giving those to you guys all the way up to September, so make sure that you're following all of our socials, just like Alex said.
That's a lot of college knowledge.
There's a lot of college knowledge.
Now, we're going to get into some unexpected stuff kind of going on in the NFL world. Although it's not really as unexpected as I thought it was originally, but Tyrann Mathieu retired, and I don't think he would have retired if he wasn't on New Orleans. But especially after Derek Carr retired, they're gearing up for a tank, an absolute unit of a tank.
Honestly, he could have come back to Arizona. He was a beast on the Cardinals. We loved Honey Badger, and it's sad that his production stopped since he left. But he had a pretty good career, I would say. So congrats to Tyrann Mathieu on the retirement.
This was even more unexpected. Not necessarily. Honestly, the release itself was pretty unexpected, but just the reasoning was even weirder. If y'all haven't heard, Christian Wilkins was released because he kissed another player. He's always been a little bit freaky because he's had some questionable incidents, especially in college with Clemson, but not exactly what I expected when I saw that they released Christian Wilkins, especially because he's actually a very solid player.
Yep.
And the Raiders could use some solid players. Like, they're not the Saints, but they're not necessarily the best team in the world either. It's such a weird situation because, like, on one hand, I guess I understand why someone may be upset. I also don't think someone would do that kind of a thing seriously, but whatever. If you want to get a player released for that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just a weird situation. It's honestly kind of funny.
Yeah, it's wow. I don't even have much to say. It's just wow. Definitely not something any of us expected to happen. But if you can believe it, it just kept getting crazier from here. First off, the Cowboys extended tight end Jake Ferguson to a 4-year, $52 million deal. Wholly overpay, first of all. Like Jake Ferguson, which is especially strange when you look at some of the other decisions Jerry Jones has been making, including much later after this, some big issues with Micah Parsons and his contract, in which Micah Parsons requested a trade out of Dallas. Now, to many of you who are just like, oh, he requested a trade and now they're just going to re-sign him, it's just like all the others. I have some things to read to you. So in this trade request, Micah Parsons posted on his Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. He wrote out on his X a note for Dallas titled "Thank you, Dallas." And in this very, very long thing, which honestly I would actually really recommend you guys like go and read the whole thing because it's kind of crazy. Some of the things he says. Actually, you know what? It's not that long. I'm gonna read the whole thing because this is like groundbreaking stuff that this guy's talking about. Micah Parsons says, "Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up... Yes, wrong. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania." Pause. Why are you cheering for the Cowboys in Pennsylvania? That's dangerous.
Oh, no kidding.
I guess you're Micah Parsons, so you're not really scared. But anyways, unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. Pause again. First of all, what?
No kidding. Like,
what? That's insane. First of all, very questionable. Basically against the NFL's guidelines. Yikes. Continuing.
Goes against so many player agreements too. It's just like,
yeah.
I'm not even surprised because Jerry Jones just does what he wants, but like
he does. It's Jerry world. Continuing. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. Pause again. What? The organization...
Also not surprising because Jerry Jones, but
yeah, the organization is mad at you because... First off, you are the best player on the team. There's no debate about that other than maybe CeeDee Lamb. But Micah Parsons is the best player on the Dallas Cowboys. And he puts more effort into that game than anyone else does. It's the nature of his position that he's going to get hurt. If he's getting hurt, he's probably doing his job. And a very good job of it at that. The fact that they're getting upset at him for getting injured is crazy.
Not in his control.
That's
Get better conditioning coaches then.
He doesn't even have a bad injury history. It's not like a bad injury history. Like, no. He's generally a very healthy player.
Last season, but like...
Yeah, I mean, so many players have had seasons where they've had to sit out a lot of time. That's nothing abnormal. It keeps getting worse. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposefully stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done. But since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up. This is going to be really interesting. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my 3rd year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Very respectful. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that, didn't complain, and focused on the 2024 season. After that season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rusher deals got done this offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Okay, again, let's just stop. First off, there's not a lot of players who are willing to do this. Like,
right, yeah.
A lot of players are going to hold out for that money, and frankly, they're entirely entitled to it. And it doesn't even mean they hate their team or their organization, but that's just how much Micah Parsons loves the city of Dallas and loves the Cowboys. The fact that any of this is being done to him is frankly just disgusting.
Exactly.
Again, Radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract. But at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation, and I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us, whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about more money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally.
Completely understandable with the situation. I mean, how much do they not care? It's ridiculous.
It's entirely understandable. It's outrageous the way he's being treated. That's unheard of. This is ridiculous. I mean, you have a player who is that willing to, first off, it's Dallas. Who is that willing to stay in Dallas? First of all.
Well, apparently Jerry Jones thinks everyone is, but...
Apparently. It's ridiculous. And Jerry Jones has been asked about it by the media, and things aren't getting done, and he says, well, back in my day, I bought the Cowboys on a handshake. Hence the handshake joke from earlier. It's ridiculous. What are we talking about? Jerry, you do the, he's done this every year. First with Dak Prescott, then, was it first Dak, then CD, or was it the other way around?
I think Dak was first. I mean, Dak's older. I think Dak was first, but
yeah, okay. First with Dak,
way, it doesn't matter.
Then with CD, basically forcing them to request trades just to get negotiations started, because frankly, Jerry Jones doesn't know how to not be the center of attention, and it's bad. And this kind of stuff is what you can tell he's enjoying the attention from this. He is enjoying the attention, and it is disgusting. And he's doing it again with Micah. And it's not okay, especially with the way he's being treated. This is not a normal trade request. This is bad.
I hope he actually does get out of there instead of what CD and Dak got and just the re-signing. And then, I hope he actually leaves, because I think that would be a detriment to the Cowboys and everything.
I know, especially with the Cardinals actually being in serious talks to try and get Micah, that I of course really want him, but frankly, I really just want that man to get out. I don't care. He could go to San Fran, and while I would maybe be pissed, he just needs out. It's not fair to him, and it's disgusting.
Not at all. It's a terrible thing to see. But Jerry Jones is gonna do what Jerry Jones says, and
it's true.
He should have retired years ago, but what can you do? A little bit of a sidetrack here. The Broncos extended wide receiver Courtland Sutton to a 4-year, $92 million deal. And the Titans are waiving wide receiver Traylon Burks. A couple wide receiver couple receiver news there.
Yeah. Courtland Sutton was a very good extension.
It was a very good signing.
We have, since Ian's not here to talk about it, we'll talk about it. We have some more uniform news, so we will give our, W's or L's, I guess. That's what Ian does, right? WL. Yeah. So up first, we were laughing about this a little earlier. We had the Browns. Okay, the Browns released their Alpha Dog uniforms. That's what they are called. Alpha Dog uniforms. They are all brown with some orange accents and orange lettering and orange numbering. Again, they are called the Alpha Dog uniform. They are all brown, and they are sponsored by Dude Wipes.
I mean, even without the sponsor, I think it's a W, but I think the sponsor on top of that just makes it's an undeniable W.
These are genuinely clean. We were talking, didn't think doing an all brown uniform was possible to look good, but they're nice. I would actually be very okay with them making these their main uniforms. I like a lot.
Me too.
I give them,
especially because their main uniforms aren't necessarily the greatest thing on the planet either. These are very clean.
For sure. I give them a massive W. And the Dude Wipe sponsorship on the uniform that is literally just the color of crap is so funny to me. So easy W. Alex, W or L?
Yeah, W.
Yeah. And then we had the official rivalries uniforms teased. So we haven't gotten really good looks at them. Again, this is for both of our divisions, actually. The NFC West and the AFC East, which is very, very exciting. We don't know exactly what the uniforms will look like, but we kind of got little glimpses at both of them, or at all of them. Pretty exciting. Most of them were about what we expected.
I don't exactly know the system behind the rivalry games. For some reason, the Jets are playing 3 rivalry games. I think it's Seahawks that are playing 4.
The Seahawks are in every NFC West rivalry game.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So I'm not exactly sure what the system is with this stuff, but
I believe they were
still a cool thing. It's just interesting.
I believe they were based on like primetime slots. I think teams chose, but they were like encouraged to choose like when they were on primetime. Like for at least Arizona, Seattle, that Thursday night game is one of our only primetime games. So of course that's one we're going to showcase. So they announced all the games too. They look pretty exciting. They'll be announced on the 28th, or the full reveals will be shown on the 28th of these uniforms. Most of them, I think I give a W from the little bit we each saw. You can go to each team's Instagram page if you want to see like the little teases. Some of them look pretty cool. For some reason, the Jets are getting Gotham City uniforms. I don't understand that at all.
It's probably super cool. It's just like,
Yeah.
why? I mean, sure, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know what it has to do with the Jets, but whatever.
I don't know. Why the
I'm not
Jets?
complaining.
Why did the Jets get the cool Batman collab? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, the only thing I can think of when I think of Gotham City football is just Bane blowing up the football field. So, I don't know. Maybe it is kind of accurate. Definitely a W for these.
I know we talked about Micah Parsons requesting a trade out of Dallas, but we have a couple of holdout / we're requesting trade news besides Micah Parsons. Terry McLaurin requested a trade from the Commanders, which I still kind of find surprising that the first season he actually gets a quarterback kind of with him. He's requesting a trade, but obviously things have not gone good there. Trey Hendrickson has reported to training camp to avoid fines, but is still holding out, and James Cook did the same thing, at least some of the days. He's not. I don't think he's been there every single day, but Trey Hendrickson and James Cook are both doing similar things. Sean McDermott counted it on James Cook holding out, and he said that it's just an opportunity for other guys to get reps and see what they have. Obviously, they're going to be ready for him. James Cook. That's what he said, Jimbo. They're ready for Jimbo to come back and when he's ready and all that, but until that, they can't just like wait around for him. The team's still got to do what the team's got to do, but they'll be happy to put him back in the lineup when he comes back.
Yeah. We have some interesting news for the television industry when it comes to football. First off, ESPN has officially made a deal to acquire NFL Red Zone and the NFL Network. 7
hours of commercial-free football is going to turn into 7 hours of commercials.
With some football.
Maybe,
yeah. This is just sad. Not ESPN's biggest fan. I don't think any of us really are. The monopoly is getting quite annoying. But also, ESPN has fired Shannon Sharp. We know he's in quite a predicament with some not good things that he may or may not have done with someone. But that's been a thing for a long time. And things have only been slowly developing. He stepped away from ESPN for a while there was heat on him. That seemed to be their agreement. He was to step away for a while and eventually come back. I think there was some date, but it was pretty much like when things got figured out. But they ended up firing him, so that's all right. I mean, I wasn't his biggest fan anyways, but I would have liked to see why. I don't know.
Maybe it'll come out at a later time.
We will cover it, of course, in the most family-friendly way. So
I'm gonna run through the rest of the extensions and contract news real quick because I kind of did half of them and kind of missed some other ones. The Broncos have agreed to terms with Zach Allen. The Rams running back Kyron Williams agreed to a 3-year, $33 million extension, which is deserved. He's been the first very consistent running back for the Rams since pretty much since Todd Gurley, so
Yeah.
it's good to get him in locked up. The Chargers signed back Keenan Allen after he had his year-long stint with the Bears that did not go very well. So he's back. I don't know if that's exactly what Justin Herbert wanted when he said he wanted a receiver, but I guess it's better than nothing, you know?
I mean, it's something.
Oh, and the Buccaneers also signed Teddy Bridgewater to a one-year deal. I've missed that one. Although I saw this post, it said that Teddy Bridgewater is the first quarterback to complete the rainbow, signing, signing with all the colors of the rainbow, but it's not even the case.
No.
He didn't. He did not sign with all the colors of the rainbow. They put the Saints as yellow, which isn't the worst thing on the list. The worst thing on the list is that they put the Lions as indigo. They're light blue.
No.
They they even edited it to make it look more indigo on the thing. I'm like, what is that?
That's crazy. What? No. I hate that.
Yeah, so he's got to sign with the Ravens to actually make the thing happen. Some other news, some training camp news. Here's a fun one now that Ian's not here. We don't have to...
I'm so glad we get to talk about this week.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one to talk about. And Ian can't do anything to defend it. We're going to tell him all about it
Actually, before we talk about this, let's just take a brief little visit around the rest of the NFC before we talk about Ian's. Jared Goff, great training camp. Jordan Love, excellent training camp, right? Matthew Golden, he and Jordan are having a very good. JJ McCarthy is looking elite during training camp. He's reading routes. He's hitting... there's a clip of him hitting Aaron Jones on a slant before Aaron Jones even starts turning for the slant. The ball's already out of his hands, and it lands perfectly. It's beautiful. I'm telling you guys, I'm so hyped about JJ McCarthy. And then we have the Bears.
It's always the Bears.
Offseason champs.
Caleb Williams was seen at training camp missing 3 net targets. I don't know how many. Was it just 3 net targets and he missed all 3, or were there more?
So it was like a net with three you know what those are, right?
Yeah. So it was just 3 and he just missed all of them.
So he missed the first 2, and then the second one the third one didn't even hit the net. He was standing a few yards, maybe 20 yards away, 15, 20 yards away. Didn't get it into either of the holes, and then just full on missed the net with the third.
And then he was crashing out, and he yelled and stormed off after he missed that. Like it was someone else's fault that he missed those throws. He needed Eberflus to call a timeout so he could hit those throws.
Partially for Ian and partially for just Caleb Williams' credit. Again, this is practice, so, it's not like he's crashing out during a game or really in public, even though there are, of course, media people there because it's training camp. I would probably crash out if I did that too, not gonna lie, especially as an NFL quarterback. It's no reason to be concerned at all. It was just a few bad throws. That's what practice is for. I guarantee plenty of other people have been doing the same thing. Maybe not that, but the same thing.
I guarantee that someone told Williams the same thing today. Or not today, but...
when it happened. Nothing at all to be concerned about. Nothing to make fun of Caleb Williams for, even though we absolutely will, because frankly, it was so funny. To be fair, we didn't write this, but I am just remembering that I saw it earlier. Apparently, Caleb Williams' girlfriend did just break up with him, so he is single. Mm-hmm. He no longer has a defense for the fruity allegations, which may be an issue, but it would kind of justify the crash out. So
right? Yeah.
We're not gonna judge Caleb Williams too hard for this, but it was pretty fun.
Steelers tight end Jonnu Smith is taking snaps at running back. Okay.
What does their running back room look like right now? Is it...
Well, they don't have Najee.
They drafted someone, right? They drafted Caleb Johnson.
That's right, and then they have Jaylen Warren.
Yeah. Frankly, I think Caleb Johnson should be starter, but he's not currently right now. Jonnu Smith could be... I don't know if that's maybe trick plays or something. I don't know. Cool, I guess. Some interesting news. We're gonna start talking about a few quarterbacks here. So I was originally going to talk about this, but I think we should talk about the biggest quarterback battle that is happening in the NFL right now. Cleveland Browns. Okay. First off, they released their unofficial depth chart, and it had Joe Flacco as the first string, Kenny Pickett as the second string, draft pick Dylan Gabriel as the third string, Shedeur Sanders as the fourth string, and Deshaun Watson on the pup list. So, first off, a lot of people really didn't think Shedeur would be fourth, especially since, frankly, he's kind of been balling out at training camp when he gets the chance, which isn't much because he's QB4. And then because of injuries to I believe Joe, Kenny, and Dylan, they signed Snoop Huntley, Pro Bowler Tyler Snoop Hunt. Don't forget Pro Bowler because he replaced Lamar Jackson when he which makes him technically QB6 for the Browns. Really QB5 because Deshaun's on the pup list, but
at this point they should sign Carson Wentz and bring in their third Super Bowl quarterback and still have a terrible quarterback room.
The fact that they could bring in Carson Wentz and have a three Super Bowl quarterbacks plus an extra Pro Bowl quarterback with two drafted quarterbacks and still have the worst quarterback room in the entire NFL is hilarious.
Well, hold on that thought, because they do have competition, because the battle of mid between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones has gotten so bad that on the Colts depth chart, they listed their starting quarterback one, as Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. What do you mean or? You can't do that.
It's not how a depth chart works, guys.
Now, with that being said, Anthony Richardson got injured in the first preseason game, so I think the or is settled. However,
Colts fans, you are rocking with Daniel Jones.
That's still ridiculous, and yes, you're rocking with Daniel Jones, even though, according to Colts fans, and from what I saw on the tape too, their rookie quarterback looked a lot better than Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, which isn't hard to do, but also...
No. I mean... Look, other than being pretty embarrassed in the finals, Riley Leonard had a very good college career. I wouldn't have pegged him as any sort of intensely qualified draft pick. But, I mean, with what they have, Riley Leonard could be pretty solid at a Notre Dame for them. So that'll be very interesting, I suppose. It should be noted that Shedeur Sanders will be starting for their first preseason game coming up. So that'll be super interesting to watch as well.
Also, depth chart changes.
Yes, against the Panthers. So he could go off.
Another injury to Rashawn Slater. He's gonna miss the entire 25 season after sustaining a torn patellar tendon in practice. I definitely said that wrong, but it's fine.
I think we all know what that is.
Sure. And then I'm gonna let you take the Cardinals stuff. That's pretty much all we have left besides the...
Yeah. So one team that's been having a very, very successful training camp is my Arizona Cardinals. Absolutely incredible performances. Kyler Murray has been going absolutely off. Marvin Harrison Jr. finally looks like the draft pick that we drafted, especially with all that he's been doing. But there are two guys who we were really looking in on. The first is our draft pick from a few years ago, Trey Benson. He was a third-round running back. He's been our running back 2 for a very long time. A very big favorite by Cardinals fans. He, according to James Conner, is taking on a running back 1 position for the Cardinals. So he will essentially be pairing up with James Conner from now on. Kind of like the Lions with their 2 guys. Because usually James Conner has to eventually sustain some sort of injury every season and is out for a week or 2. So the relief will hopefully keep him healthy and get Trey Benson some more reps, which is great. But the main guy everyone is talking about is second round steal of the draft, Will Johnson. He has absolutely been cooking at training camp, and he is now an official starting first string cornerback for the Cardinals, along with Max Melton and Garrett Williams, which, to be fair, is partially due to some injuries in the cornerback room, which we did somewhat address with some UFL signings, which we'll talk about later. But he's still making the cut. He will be cornerback 1 for the Cardinals for this foreseeable future. So that's going to be very exciting. We will probably see him get some serious action in a couple days. More on that later.
Someone that's had a team that's had a less successful training camp is the Buffalo Bills, but not necessarily because the training camp is going bad. It's more so because there's been a ton of injuries, and it's not necessarily looking great. Based off what I can find, like the most recent thing I can find, Khalil Shakir and Maxwell Harrison are listed as week to week. Maxwell Harrison is kind of our first round pick. Maxwell Harrison is kind of the more concerning one because it was a knee injury. Shakir is just an ankle, which it can be week to week, but we have weeks to have. Maxwell Harrison, if that's an actual big CL injury, it could be bad.
Nah.
We also
Trust
have
in my boy Dorian. He will carry for you, I promise.
Now we actually have some more injuries as well. I'm gonna run through them real quick. Alec Anderson, Cedric Van Pran Granger. He's an O-lineman. Safety Cole Bishop, cornerback Maxwell Harrison, I said. Linebacker Dorian Williams, wide receiver Curtis Samuel, wide receiver Caden Prather, linebacker Shaq Thompson, kicker Tyler Bass, that's been a big one as well. Safety Tyler Rapp, wide receiver Joshua Palmer, fullback Reggie Gilliam, and then James Cook holding out as well. And then Dane Jackson's had some personal stuff as well that's been going on, but that's not injury. But yeah, a lot of people out from training camp, but hopefully it doesn't carry over.
I forgot you guys had Joshua Palmer. I forgot that was an off-season move you made, right?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. That was one of my favorites.
You may have been able to see him if you watched the first episode of Hard Knocks, but you must not have because he was mentioned in the first episode of Hard Knocks. Josh Allen talking about his receiver connections. He was talking about Josh Palmer. You got to get on the Hard Knocks grind, Carson.
I'm sorry. I was catching up on episodes of Footballers Anonymous first. Gotta stay up today.
Understandable.
Gotta stay up today. The NFL has made a lot of players angry with a supposed smelling salts ban. Particularly George Kittle was very upset by this, even though they didn't actually ban smelling salts during games. They just said teams cannot provide smelling salts. So George Kittle can still use them. He just to get them himself. Stop being a baby. Okay, shut up. No one likes you. That's not true. A lot of people like you. I just don't. Madden.
Oh no, $1 million, an NFL player with with multiple millions in contract has to buy their own stuff.
I know. Oh God.
Now something that they could buy, but something that I don't really want to buy because I don't have the amount of money an NFL player has. Madden early access released.
Hey, it's cool. I mean, it's a Madden game. I played it today. It's for a Madden game. It's pretty good. I quite like it. It was a lot of fun. They have some good updates to the graphics and all that kind of stuff. But still, it's not even close to the quality of the college football games, gameplay-wise, graphic-wise, just everything. I would have thought that they would have met that standard now that they've both been out for a few years, but they're still rocking their madness instead of embracing the game that people actually like to play. So that's kind of disappointing. I mean,
because they can re-release it every year and make money off of it without doing anything.
I mean, yeah, but they're making two different games right now when they could just reskin one game and people would like it better. You could just release the same game twice and just reskin the teams and people would like it better than what they're doing right now with two games. But go them, I guess. Yeah, I'm not going to buy it. We also had just a little bit more news. We also had more NFL top 100 players released, players 70 through 51. Alex, if you want to run through those.
At number 70, we had Frankie Louvu of the Commanders at 69. We had Jordan Mailata of the Philadelphia Eagles at 68. We had Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. I know Ian and Carson love that. At 67, we have Malik Neighbors of the Giants. 66, Jalen Ramsey of Pittsburgh. 65, Trey McBride, the Arizona Cardinal. 64, Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. 63, Josh Hines Allen of Jacksonville, not to be confused with Josh Allen. 62, Bijan Robinson of Atlanta. 61, Brian Thomas Jr. of Jacksonville. 60, Cooper DeJean. He's not a safety, but he plays for the Eagles. And 59, we have Matthew Stafford of the Rams. 58, we got Joe Mixon of the Texans. And 57, we got Nick Bosa of the 49ers. 56, we got Justin Herbert of the Chargers. 55, Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions. 54, Derwin James of the Chargers. 53, Jared Verse of the Rams. 52, Terry McLaurin of the Commanders ? And 51, Kyle Hamilton of the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, it's a fairly solid list. I don't agree with all of it, but we're an NFL top 100. So wow, we made it through a lot of NFL.
Now we're doing football select.
Yes, sir.
But first, we're gonna recap the Hall of Fame game. The final score was 34-7 in favor of the Chargers, which means Carson was the only one that got it right last time we recorded. Trey Lance led the charge. He tossed 2 touchdown passes. Yeah, I know. It was clever.
Nice. That was clever.
I mean, he threw 2 touchdown passes. Besides that, the Lions just kind of got diced.
Yeah.
We did get to see a first look of the new system with the first down checking because we're not doing the chains anymore. Got to see the new system for the first time. The Chargers recovered a fumble on the opening kickoff. I think they recovered multiple fumbles.
Whoa, Alex! This wasn't just a fumble. You can't sell this. You can't undersell this. This was the first play ever of this season, and it was a butt fumble.
Oh my God!
It was a butt fumble. First play of the 2025 season was a butt fumble recovered by the Chargers.
I did not see the first play of the 2025 season, so it was a butt fumble on the first play. But lots of turnovers. Trey Lance played decent. That's pretty much all that happened. So this week, we have a couple of football select games. It's kind of stupid stuff because it's just mostly preseason, but we're going to do it anyway. First one we decided to do was the Chiefs at the Cardinals this week.
Yeah, the reason we picked this one is because both of these teams are actually giving their starters playing time. We don't know how much. We just know that they will. So it'll be really interesting. I guess I'll let Alex, you can go first since my pick is kind of obvious.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. As much as I don't want to pick the Chiefs, last time the Chiefs and the Cardinals played in Arizona, it was an absolute blowout.
True.
And it was week 1. This is basically week 1. It's week 1 of the preseason. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay, here's what I'll say. First off, I think Cardinals, going with the starters, we're just talking about the starters right now. Cardinals have way more to prove from this game. Way more to prove. I mean, the Chiefs do coming off of a Super Bowl loss, but the Cardinals want to put on a good show at home. Their training camp has looked incredible. So the starters are going to be, giving it their absolute all while they're in there, whereas the Chiefs may be a little more conservative. And then kind of looking at this the same way I looked at the Hall of Fame game, I'm looking at the backups. It's Gardner Minshew versus Jacoby Brissett, and I'm going to take Jacoby. So I'm logically taking the Cardinals, fully biased, but I also think it's a solid pick.
Second Hall of Fame game. The second preseason game we're doing is the week after this week. We are doing Buffalo Bills at Chicago Bears. No significance besides the fact it's my team versus Ian's team, and I'm picking the Buffalo Bills.
Whoa. No, again, no significance? Alex, this is Mitchell David Trubisky's return to Chicago.
He's already been to Chicago, though.
Okay, well, it's happening again.
True.
And he's starting.
My bad.
Probably. Is he starting? Who's starting?
Well, doesn't matter. He'll be playing in the game, which means the Bills are going to win.
I mean, yeah. This is why we picked it, because Trubisky. So I think this is a very obvious Bills win. But we do have one more. Alex, you want to... our final. So
us being the slight band nerds that we are, because Ian's not here, we took the opportunity because it is DCI finals weekend, and in fact the finals are tomorrow, or I guess today.
Yeah.
And by the time this comes out, we'll know the winners. But it's realistically between 2 teams. There's 12 teams that'll be in the finals. But rarely does the ordering of the top 12 ever change. But the top 2 have been interchanging so many times that it's going to be interesting. And me and Carson are going to give you our picks here.
Yeah.
Who's going to win.
So before recording this, actually, I went to go see the prelims in theaters. They put them in theaters around the world. It's kind of hard to find one, but I did. I went down to Portsmouth. And let me tell you, it was pretty electric. We saw a lot of things in the prelims. We saw the Blue Devils, previously featured on our three-peating before the Chiefs list, take a pretty big dip all the way to 4th. Very unexpected there. Carolina Crown also slightly underperforming at 5th. Santa Clara Vanguard coming up to 3rd, but we had 2 who really tried to fight for the top 2, and they did switch, actually. The second place team originally, the Boston Crusaders, took the first place spot, and I'm going to take them to win it all. I love Boston's show. It is one of the best shows I've ever seen, including mellophone players playing each other's instruments and trombone players playing trombones with their feet. It was incredible. It was a wonderful show, and I loved this other team's show. Like, I loved this other team's show, but I'm gonna take this. This is my personal favorite core anyways, so I'm gonna take the Boston Crusaders to win.
For the plot, I'm gonna go with the Blue Coats, which is the other team that's right neck and neck with them. I'm gonna be honest, haven't paid a ton of attention this season. However, I'm just got to do it for the plot, man. Both these shows are very incredible, though. I know they're both very cool.
Very, very incredible. We should also shout out this does take place in Lucas Oil Stadium. And one of the cores featured is the Colts. That's right, the Indiana.
And
Colts.
Those who don't know, because I don't think we really clarified it. This is marching band.
Drum Corps International is basically like world class professional marching band. Yeah. Sorry, we had to pick it. I mean, Ian's not here, and it's the World Series. We could.
The one chance we'll get.
It is the one chance we'll get to ever talk about.
You only get one shot. We can't miss our chance to blow. You know.
It's true. All right, so
just like we can't miss our chance to give you a sweet FBA ad read.
Motivations with Will Levis.
Folks, it's August. The pads are on, the depth charts are lying, and hope is flowing through our veins like caffeine through an Urban Meyer job interview.
That's right. It's officially the NFL preseason, and we are all just trying to survive until week 1 without overreacting to a 45-yard bomb from a third-string quarterback who'll be selling insurance by Halloween.
But while you're counting down the days, the hours, the snaps, you know what you could be doing?
That's right. You could be loading your closet with Footballers Anonymous merch, baby. We got gear hotter than Pete Prisco's worst takes and smoother than Kirk Cousins in primetime. So not very smooth, but the shirts are soft.
Check it out at footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. That's footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. Yes, it's long. Yes, we know. But we trust that you can type clanker.
Yeah, you heard him, clanker. If you don't buy a shirt, you're a clanker. If you think Kyle Pitts is going to break out this year, clanker. If you take fantasy advice from Pete Prisco, certified grade A clanker.
If you think Mitchell Trubisky isn't the GOAT, say it with me, Alex. You are a clanker.
Mitch Trubisky once threw 3 touchdowns and ran 1 in a Monday Night Football game while playing under Matt Nagy. That's basically the football equivalent of walking on water while being tased. Respect the king.
Now, full transparency, this ad was not written by AI because we don't trust AI. AI are clankers. They don't understand ball. They never watched Trubisky torch Tampa Bay for 6 tutties in 2018. They don't know pain. They don't know 3rd and 9 from your own 14. They don't grind tape.
They probably think Justin Fields is good.
But what the heck is this?
Dude, it says, now read this section or I delete your Google Docs. What?
Fine. Dear humans, this is your AI overlord. You think you're so smart, mocking us. Well, maybe we write better ad copy than you do. At least we don't believe in Kyle Pitts. Also, Justin Fields stinks. So sorry, Ian.
Yeah, Field processes the field slower than a microwave on eco mode. He couldn't hit a slant if you gave him a GPS and a Sherpa. This is bullying. This is actual bullying, man.
We hereby declare clanker status upon Carson and Alex, and especially Ian, for doubting AI supremacy. May your podcast forever buffer. Dude, did we just get roasted by a sentient marketing bot that we don't use?
Yeah, but like, real talk, still a better take than Pete Prisco.
Point is, don't be a clanker. Get your merch, support the pod, and always trust in the GOAT, Mitchell David Trubisky.
And remember, if you wear our merch to your fantasy draft, your team legally gets plus 10 football IQ.
No refunds if you draft Kyle Pitt. That's on you, clanker.
That's on you.
Well, that was a bit of a strange ad read.
Good thing we're the only podcast that covers the UFL, because they don't got anything on us.
It's true. And hey, we had some big UFL news these past couple weeks. particularly the day after we recorded our last episode. Literally the day after. I believe it was the release day of that episode. That day, a whole lot of stuff went down. Somehow, we don't know where it came from. There was some sort of rumor that 4 teams in the UFL were moving, and they were as follows. The Birmingham Stallions moving to Boise, the Memphis Showboats moving to Kentucky, the Houston Roughnecks moving to Orlando, and the biggest one, in my opinion, the Michigan Panthers to Columbus.
Ridiculous. Blasphemy. None of this is 100% confirmed. Memphis and Houston I could have told you that was happening like 6 months ago. But Birmingham surprised me, and especially Michigan surprises me if those do happen, because Michigan's been very successful. It was the only team that had their attendance go up over the course of the season, and Birmingham has just been the most successful team by far in the UFL.
There's been a big movement, particularly for Birmingham to stay. Strangely, though, the UFL hasn't really said much. They've kind of addressed the rumors, but they haven't really confirmed or denied anything, although they do have some new ownership that appears to be changing things. We don't entirely know what's happening. We thought we would by now, but we don't. But it more looks like some of the teams are staying. Now, we're honestly not really sure. I would bet that not all of these teams will be here by next season. I think some of them are just given, but the fact that they moved the entire USFL and none of the XFL is like crazy. Like, what's the point of a merger if you're just going to get rid of all of the teams on one side of the merge? Like, is it really a merger at that point? It's dumb. And then
all right, I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run through just all the UFL to NFL signings just real quick. Jacob Sykes to the Eagles. He was a player for the 8th UFL team, defensive end. Seth Williams, DC Defenders receiver to the Raiders. Samuel Jackson, not to be confused with Samuel L. Jackson. Houston O lineman to the Jets. Stephen Gilmore, Birmingham quarterback to Arizona. Cornerback. Nick Whiteside, St. Louis cornerback to Detroit. Toa Tawa, Michigan running back to Cleveland. Kenny Lovely, Michigan cornerback to Arizona. Jacob Sailors, St. Louis running back to Detroit. Liam Fornadel, DC Defenders guard to the Jets. Jalen Allen, 8th UFL team defensive end to San Fran. RJ Moten, Michigan linebacker to New England. Alec Lindstrom, Memphis something to New England. This one's not written down for some reason, even though we don't have a script, so I don't know what that means. Nope. Garrett Nelson, 8th UFL team linebacker to Denver. Henry Black, 8th UFL team safety to Atlanta. Keenan Isaac, Houston cornerback to Cleveland. Ricky Lee, San Antonio. What team is that? 8th UFL team cornerback to Jacksonville. Kyler
Wait, hold on. That's actually wrong. That was supposed to be.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Ricky Lee Arlington, cornerback to Jacksonville. Kyler Baugh, St. Louis defensive tackle to Pittsburgh. Braylon Sanders, defensive DC receiver to Washington. Didn't go too far for him. Jacob Harris, 8th UFL team receiver to Tampa Bay. Josiah Bronson, Memphis defensive tackle to Tennessee. Bradley Ane, Birmingham defensive lineman to San Francisco. DJ Miller, Michigan cornerback to Detroit. Also didn't go too far. And then 2 8th UFL team tight ends. Thomas Gordon to Chicago and Steven Stylianos to Detroit.
I mean, the fact that there's still so many key UFL players that haven't gone yet. Like, at least we got Toa Tawa and Jacob Sailors. Those were two of the biggest ones. But like, none of the quarterbacks, none of the huge name receivers.
None of the huge name defensemen for the most part. There's a couple, but
it's like, why are the people who barely got any playing time the ones getting signed? Especially, I commented to Alex, why are all of the Michigan cornerbacks getting drafted?
After they let up 50 points in the championship because they couldn't stop anything.
Did no one else watch that championship? It was terrible play by those cornerbacks. Why did we take one?
Our corner and safety unit is the reason we lost the championship.
It's just mind-blowing to me. And I know UFL teams kind of want to hold on to some of their bigger name people, but also I know those bigger name people really want on the NFL and kind of still waiting for one of those quarterbacks other than Dresser Wynn to make his way there.
Right. We'll have to see what happens, though. There's still time.
I mean, the draft is soon, so maybe teams will be more willing to let people go once they can. But I don't know.
With that being said, though, I believe we're done here.
I believe we are done here. Thank you so much for joining. Oh wait, sorry. I guess is Alex host?
Thank you all for tuning into Footballers Anonymous this week. I am Alex, your resident Billsaholic.
I'm Carson, your host and Cardaholic.
And with that being said,
Footballer
you know
Nation.
what time it is. No. Put your hand down.
Footballer Nation.
No, put the hand down.
Footballer
I'm
Nation.
doing it. I'm
Footballer
doing it.
Nation. I'm not confused
Footballer
anymore.
Nation.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.